Hi, this is Monica Haynes, and this is my journey for my career map for the Capstone Masters Project. Um, this is me on the left at 18 years old in my graduation photo from Chester High School, and on the right is me currently. I grew up in an industrial city just south of Philadelphia called Chester, Pennsylvania. This is the house that I grew up in, but not exactly. This house looks nothing like the house that I grew up in, although this is the site where my house stood. And as you can see, the neighborhood has really gone down. It's really decrepit now. It wasn't so when I was growing up, but like a lot of places, the industry left and um, not a lot of jobs, um, not a lot of economic development, and this is what happens. This is a house across the street from mine, and this is actually what my house looked like when I was growing up. When we had the green awnings and the porch, and it was green and white, and so I wanted to show really more of what my house looked like um, than the current site. So this is what it actually looked like when I was growing up, although we had hedges in front of our porch. As I said, Chester was an industrial town, and one of the major employers there was the Shipbuilding Company. Um, as you can see from this historical marker, during World War II, Sun was the largest single shipyard in the world with over 35,000 employees. So that was the boom time, and that was a period of time in the 1940s is when my parents moved from the South, like a lot of other African Americans, moved to the North for the jobs. This is the place where my dad worked. It's the Scott Paper Company, and this is where he worked. So we always had to buy Scott Paper products because he said that was supporting his job. And now I think it's owned by Kimberly Clark, but when I was growing up, it was the Scott Paper Company. This is my mom, who raised me. I was put up for adoption when I was born, and I was fortunate enough to come to live with her when I was 2 years old. And these are two of my foster brothers that I grew up with. Is Henry on the left and then Tony on the right. This is my dad, my foster dad. He was a deacon at our church, and his name was Maxwell Spencer. He died when I was 13 years old, and my brothers were younger than that. So we uh, they grew up pretty much without a father because of that. I went to Chester High School, and I was a pretty good student there. It was the one public high school in the city, and most people went there. Um, that's me in the circle in the back. I was kind of a nerd, kind of smart, so I was on the Scott's High Q team. It was sponsored by the Scott Paper Company, and it was one of those high school quiz programs, and we um, competed against other schools. And in the front is of me in the white dress is my best friend Marilyn Harris. And this is me, as I said, 18 years old. I left Chester, went to Pittsburgh to attend Duquesne University. I had to go on the bus, didn't have anybody to take me, and so I just gathered my things and I took the bus. I had $200 that I saved from working in the summer. This is Duquesne University where I went to school. I majored in journalism and got a BA in journalism. When I was a freshman at Duquesne, one of my professors told me that the Post Gazette was looking for copy messengers. He sent me down there, and I got the job, and I started working at the Post Gazette when I was 18 years old as a copy messenger. Um, I worked there the whole time I was in school, And even several years after I had graduated, I became a clerk, moved up from copy messenger, became a clerk, and eventually became a staff reporter and covered all kinds of things, you know, the Super Bowl, Hurricane Katrina, all kinds of stories. I ended up doing a lot of entertainment stories. This particular story was a story that I did on the presidential election. It's a local story, 2008, when Barack Obama made history as the first African American uh, president. And so I was part of that coverage. I'm very proud of that. Um, these are my children. I have four, and my oldest one is 30. She's to the right. And then my son is the youngest. And then I have my middle daughter in the middle, who's in graduate school, and then my other daughter, who's a teacher and a cosmetologist. This is my mother. This is a story that I wrote about finding my mother when I was 44 years old, and her name's Miss Mamie. She has since passed away, and I got a lot of good feedback about that story, and it kind of had been doing genealogy research, and so uh, it kind of what spurred me to continue to do it. And this is my uncle from Virginia that I went down to visit, and he's since passed away as well. And this is just an example of another story that I did when I was at the paper. And this is my best friend Nan that you saw in the other photo. This is us at our 25th high school reunion. Um, and we did a lot of traveling together. We went to the Democratic National Convention in 2008 when Barack Obama was nominated. After I left the paper in 2008, I did a lot of different jobs. I was a magazine editor. I worked here at the August Wilson Center for African American Culture, doing publications, consulting work, doing a lot of writing for their marketing department. I decided that I would go back to school since my children were grown and nearly grown, and so I decided to do the online program, Interactive Communications, ICM, at Quinnipiac University. In the meantime, while I was studying, I was also doing other things. So this is a photo from a workshop that I created and wrote the grant for, along with one of my colleagues. And this is a students that we had in our workshop. Uh, this is another photo from the workshop. I was an instructor as well as the administrator. And this is the cover from my final project. And it's about finding my dad's family. I now live in Richmond, Virginia, and my father's from Richmond, Virginia, my birth father. So I decided that I wanted to put together a website that people could go to and find out the history of our family, and it be engaging and hopefully serve as a model for other people, um, and a point of information for other family members. So that's how I got to where I am right now. Thank you very much.